Hello again, everyone. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, I call it "They Don't Ring a Bell," because there's an old Wall Street saying is they don't ring a bell at the top. They don't have this broadcast that says today or this week is the top, everybody get out. I mean, it just ain't going to happen. So today we're going to take a look at the S&P 500 and talk about a couple of scenarios with the SPX. And we'll start off here looking at the weekly, daily chart, and then go to the Elliott Wave picture. I'm going to take a look at the VIX, see what it's doing here lately. I want to look at copper. Last week we looked at oil and gold and silver. I want to take a look at copper. Copper's had a heck of a move along with a bunch of these commodities. And then last but not least, I want to take a look at what looks like a major top that appears to be in on the Russell 2000. All right, so here's the S&P 500. It was up a whopping 1 point for the week, just tight little doji type candles. Now for Friday, it sold off and was down 30.30. Let me zoom in a little bit in here. And on Thursday, it sat there and closed at a new all-time high, and then Friday it sold back off again. You can see the prior 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, really didn't do much of anything in here. And then we had the move slightly, it's not a super bullish looking type candle, but it was an up day without a doubt. And what I want to do is take a look at the Elliott Wave picture right now. And here's what I've got. Okay, if we're looking at this on a daily basis, I think there's a decent chance that this 5-wave move is complete in here with this last little fifth move. And that is from, April 20th into the Thursday high. Okay, and here's why I'm thinking that. I can make the case that there were 5 waves, and I need to correct something here. Okay, here we go. Here's the 5 waves in terms of a nice little, and I like the way this alternated, a deep wave 2, a sideways wave 4, and then we had a thrust up for the 5th wave. That's a very real possibility for a completion of a small minuet level wave in here to complete minute wave 5, okay, this 5-wave structure here. Now, what is the alternate count? The alternate count says that it's down here, okay, below this red line. It says that the 4th wave really hasn't ended yet and that we're still trying to finish it out. That's why I'm saying it could be that this is an A wave right here. Let me get rid of the crosshairs for a minute and let me go to my marker. It could mean that this is an A, B, and that we're doing a C, and that's why I've got it as C. And then that completes wave 4 right there. And then if that was the case, then we'd have something like this, and then we'd have one more wave to go, okay, instead of this being finished right here. So we'll watch and see what happens. So what are we going to be looking for? Let's say this is the top and this is in, and we start to sell off. I'm going to look for, increases in the breadth of the market selling off, dramatic moves to the downside. I would like to see this trend line broken. And ideally, I want to see a move down below this prior 4th wave in here at 37.23. That's going to tell us that we are well underway in terms of a new move to the downside into the bear market. Okay, we're getting some pretty strong divergence here on the RSI also. I find that really, really interesting with this last little section that we've got here. So we need to be on alert this coming week to see what develops. All right, so that's the SPX. Let's take a look at the VIX. And I'm going to go back over to the moving average view. You can see how the VIX is starting to turn. We've had a push up on Thursday, although it backed off in the afternoon. Then it pushed again. It opened up slightly on Friday and pushed higher. You can see we've taken out multi-day highs in here. Moving averages seem to be crossing over to the upside. But you can't really get too excited about this till it starts pushing back above the 20 level, because the 20 levels, when everybody looks at the VIX and says, wow, this is really getting elevated now. We're getting some volatility kicking in. Well, that's going to happen if we start to get some serious selling kick in. All right, let's take a look at copper. What is copper doing? This is United States Copper. Now, this I think tracks copper fairly well, But you must, I got to point out the fact it's not a super highly traded liquid ETF. Look at this, 280,000 shares were traded on Friday. So it's just not in the 50, let me look at something else here. 50-day moving average, 318,000 shares. So it's not super liquid, but I do like the way it at least gives you the picture of what is happening with copper. So right now, I believe that we're in that fifth intermediate wave up of a nice impulsive wave structure. When we complete that, we're going to get more of a corrective pattern. This was a major low. Let me see if I can go to the weekly chart. Okay, this was a major low in here. And we have started off in another, I think, impulsive move to the upside. Who knows if we're in this big commodity super bull move? We'll find out. But right now, we're taking one impulsive wave at a time. And after you get 5 waves, you're going to correct. And if this is the first impulsive wave, we can get as deep as a 50 to 61.8% retracement of this entire move. But first, we got to finish off the move, okay? First, we got to get 5 waves complete. So that's what we're in right now. Notice how this 4th wave looks like a nice, beautiful little barrier triangle in here. A, B, C. We call it a barrier triangle because B and D came right up to the same exact level and created a flat line across the top of that triangle there. So now we're pushing in here. We are getting divergence showing up in this 5th intermediate wave versus the 3rd. There's no doubt. So we're on alert to say, okay, what kind of wave structure are we getting? If we keep pushing higher, my first target would be up here around 30, which is just a little bit further to the upside. Okay, so that's the current picture on copper. Now I just want to get a little plug in for the website. We talk about this kind of stuff every day over there. We look at all the indices. We go into the major markets and the indicators on a daily basis. And head on over to joehenches.net. Check out the website and check out the membership right here. Okay, now let's take a look at the Russell 2000. Let me pull that up right here, IWM. I look at the Russell ETF, and I'm going to start off here with this moving average view because this is the head and shoulders pattern that just jumps right out at you. It's just incredible here. You know, right here, left shoulder, this big head, and then, you know, we've got a right shoulder. But what's interesting is the symmetry to me. Look how you have this little peak, and then the peak of the left shoulder. And then we got this peak. This is the only place where this falls down slightly. There's a little lower than this right here. But in terms of getting the same kind of look to it, it's really, really interesting. And then this is the neckline for this whole move. Now, what are we looking at in here? Well, it looks to me like we're starting to roll over here. We started it on Thursday, and we got continuation of the downside on Friday. But we're going to need to see more continuation, and I really want to see this trend line break. We break this trend line, then we're going to make a run to the neckline. And of course, this top is not in until we break down and close below that neckline. Okay, so when I look at the Elliott Wave picture in here, I think this fits in with what I just talked about with the head and shoulders pattern. I believe we've had 5 waves up. I think this is the 5th intermediate wave coming off that March 2020, it's easier to say, low that we had over in here. And so now I think this first wave down right here, Minute Wave 1, Wave 2 pullback. It got a little more complex than what we anticipated, but that's okay. But now if this is truly a 3rd wave, this should really accelerate down as a part of being a 3rd wave. Okay, so that's what we're going to be watching for. Okay, that's it for this weekend, for this video. We'll see what kind of follow through we get this coming week. We had a lot of earnings this last week. We're going to have another bundle this coming week. If you felt like the video was helpful, give it the thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit that little subscriber button. And again, head over to joehenches.net. Check out the website and the membership. Everyone have a great rest of the weekend and a great week. Talk to you on the next video.